Hello, I'm Kerry Grinkmeyer. I'm a retired financial advisor. Built one of the largest financial planning firms in the Southeast United States and the largest within the American Express Ameriprise system before I sold it in 2005. And then I started this channel, Best of Us Investors, back in November of 2019. What I try to do is to relate to my tribe, the people who subscribe to this channel, about how to make good investment decisions. I try to reflect on the things that I've seen in the past. I also then try to share of how you can keep more of what you make by using the tax codes to shelter your money so that you can access it at some later time, or in fact to pass it on, because that's our third goal, is to build family wealth. And when I say family wealth, in the United States, a couple is allowed to pass approximately $24 million on to their heirs. So if we can do that, why don't we set that as a goal and strive to do it? And you need to learn more probably than just the stock market. You need to get in real estate, but we'll address that another time. What I want to talk about today is, as I reflect back in my investment career, I see two situations that really glare out that, man, that was a mistake, and people didn't see it. The first one was the dot-com bubble. Dot-com bubble was created as all the enthusiasm built around the advent of the internet and the dot-com era. And as a result of it, things got way out of whack and they collapsed, and some stocks lost 75% of the value. And they were lucky. They're still around. There's others that just never survived. They're gone. They're in the history books. They're anecdotes of what a dot-com bubble means. Then you have the subprime crisis. Again, just a different cat. It was a overexuberance about real estate and the debt instruments that supported it, and it burst. And again, some of those people are gone and will never be seen again, but they're in the annals of this is what you shouldn't do in the past. But most people don't read that, because we're seeing another one. It's going to be the EV bubble, the electronic vehicle bubble. I mean, everybody's wrapped up in this. Elon Musk has shown us the way, and we have a clear understanding that there is no doubt we will be deriving electronic vehicles in the very near future, just as there was no doubt that the dot-coms were going to dominate the future, and there would be Amazon, and there would be Google, and there would be Apple, and there would be Facebook. Well, the same is true about the EV craze. There's going to be some of them that are going to survive, but there's going to be some of them that are just going to disappear. And what I want to warn you about is, yeah, you might make some money on the way up, but know when to get out, know when to get away from it, or just become a more conservative and long-term investor and just invest in the winners now. Let's talk about, I have a Jack does my thumbnails and helps me produce my videos, and he lives in the Netherlands. And he wrote me last night and said, hey, you aren't going to believe what happened. I bought this stock, Arcimoto Incorporated. Its ticker symbol is FUV. And he tells me that he bought it somewhere around $5.74 2 days ago. And all of a sudden, in 2 days, it went to $16 a share. It was trading with trades on the day of about, on the 2nd, of 681,000. And on November the 19th, it went to 23 million trades. That's a 3,300% increase in trades. Well, what happened, he said, and as I looked into it, the fact is 2 days before it went down because it had bad earnings. The earnings they were supposed to lose, I think it was 13 cents per share, but they lost 15 cents per share, and so it dropped down in value. It was up about $6 and it dropped down to $5, and then lo and behold, 2 days later, it went up from $6 to $16, a 69% gain in 2 days. And then today, it's down about 14%, which is to be expected. But then I looked at that and said, well, what drove this thing? In 2018, it showed a loss of $487 million, and it came right back and $487,000. In 2019, it lost $2.63 million. So its losses went up sixfold, but its price went up 69% in 2 days. So what's happening here? So I thought, well, let's look into it. Well, they have about 76 employees. You heard me right, 76 employees, and I see them sitting around, and they're making these three-wheeled electric cars. They're really kind of intriguing. Let me see. I think I saw where they do about 75 miles per hour. They cost a little under $20,000, and they've got a range of 120 miles. So they're a city vehicle. They're a wonderful car. They're not a car. They're a golf cart that does 75 miles an hour. That's one hell of a golf cart. And it's a two-passenger vehicle. It looks a lot like one of these three-wheel motorcycles that you've seen, where you've got two wheels in the front, so you got good stable steering, and then you got one wheel in the back. That's probably the drive wheel, and a sucker will run it up to 75 miles an hour. It has no doors on it, has a windshield, but it's just basically a souped up golf cart that'll race down the highway. I imagine the acceleration on this thing is awesome. So there's a lot of hoopla around it, and there's a lot of interest in it. And this, again, looks exactly like Pets.com. Had some interest, maybe some promise, I don't know. But once the bubble burst, everybody woke up and said, there's 76 employees putting these things together. They have them for pre-order. They haven't sold any. They started taking orders on September the 17th. And yet, you've got people going crazy for this thing. And luckily, Jack got a part of it. Jack asked me, he said, what would you do? I said, I'd take my initial investment out of it, and I'd work on their money and be ready to bail. Because the world's going to wake up to this. At the other end of it, you've got NIO. NIO started out, or didn't start out, it's been around a while. On June the 1st, it was a $4 stock. That's June the 1st. In November the 20th, it's a $50 stock. That's an enormous gain. And so what's the lesson here? NIO, if I remember right, has something like 2,600 employees. It's been around a little bit longer. It's probably China's best run in the luxury type car business. So I think NIO will survive, and I think, quite honestly, that in 5 years you'll be able to buy a NIO here in the United States. There's another company that I did a video on. It's Build Your BYD. Build Your Dream, and it's got a long history. It's bigger than Tesla as far as employees. It's got factories in China. It's got, actually, I've learned since, it's got factories in the United States. It's got a wonderful history of knowing electric vehicles. In fact, it's the largest battery manufacturer in China. It makes electric buses. It makes electric taxi cabs and forklifts forklifts and garbage trucks. So it's got a history. So as far as China is concerned, and as I say, they've already got a plant here in the United States. I think that's a good bet. I think NIO's a good bet. But I'm sorry, Jack, as far as FUV is, I'd ride it for about another week, and then I think I'd move away. It's just, if you can build this thing with 76 employees, well, you can be replaced by anybody. You don't have any real technology that isn't available to the world. I don't know the name of the largest manufacturer of golf carts, but I would say that if I were them, I would be looking at what Arcimoto is doing and see if there's any technology that they have that you don't have. But I see this as something, particularly if you're in a nice climate, they have no real doors or anything on it. It's a two-passenger, a driver and a guy in the back seat. They even have a video where they show a wedding, and they have the bride driving it and the groom in the back with his hands full of flowers. It's a gimmick. Would I put $10,000 into this gimmick? No. It's a gamble. I'd rather go to Las Vegas and sit down at a poker table and take my odds, take my chances there. So that's my take on it. It's fun. It's fun to look at this. This is what puts some excitement into what is, I believe, right now a very boring stock market, waiting for the vaccine to be issued, waiting for our presidential situation to be decided. I just got to step back and hold what I've got and say it's going to take care of itself. And we even have right now. I saw Mnuchin on the news today, and he's kind of throwing stones at the Democrats that, hey, we've got some $500 billion out there that we've put out that hasn't been distributed, and the Congress, the Democrats need to reallocate it because it was put out there for businesses and big businesses, and it's not being distributed, and they need to change the rules. And it's just more politics. This has got to pass, and then we'll get back to some serious investing. Because as Trent said in the video I did about the sunset, whoever comes in and whoever is our government after the inauguration, they're going to need a $3 trillion shot isn't going to do it. As I think he said, you got a hypodermic needle that's got to be put into the chest of this economy, and it's got to deliver somewhere between $7 and $10 trillion, and it's got to be very directed. I really liked his idea about a card that you can only spend where they tell you to spend it, that will generate jobs and get our economy back on its feet. So that's my take. If you like this kind of video, give me a thumbs up. Give me a like, subscribe. We're at about 61,000 subscribers. I'd like to get up to 100,000, probably by February the 1st, and then share it with your friends, your neighbors, and even some people you don't like. We have a Discord where we're going to start sharing some more in-depth knowledge. You can find that by going to Best of Us Investors. Give me your name and your email address. I'll send you my morning letter, and on there you'll find your ticket to the Discord. Okay, thank you. I enjoy my office here. It's going to be another beautiful day here on the Emerald Coast, and I encourage you to join me tomorrow, and we'll talk some more.